What's up, world? This your boy Navigator X, and I'm on my third channel, which is I have my sports channel, which is Monster Sports Talk. I have my media channel, which is Mad Mac Television, and this is my third channel, which is pretty much just my alter ego, where I just start going off on stupid stuff that I just really don't like. Okay. So first things first, I pop a freaks all the hundreds, no joke. But first things first, I wanted to go into this whole stupid argument about slut shaming. I was gonna put out a video and kind of go back and forth, but that's tired. I don't really like doing that um, because there's nothing you can say. This is my problem with these words that women come up with: slut shaming, fat shaming. No, it's not slut shaming, it's not fat shaming. This is the problem. In life, you make decisions, and when you choose to make bad decisions, you have to reap the consequences of the bad decisions that you make. I am in no way saying that a person who chooses to that there should be a double standard. But the truth about it is, regardless if they should or there shouldn't, there is. And really there isn't. Because when I hear women say, oh, because you only hear it from women. You don't hear it from men. You know, men, we are like I said, we are very simple human beings. We are not the same way as women are with their mindsets about trying to make the world perfect for them. The world's not perfect. It's not made for you. It's not made for me. There's a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of really crappy people on this earth that share it. Majority of them are selfish. Majority of them don't care about you. Majority of them don't care about making you feel comfortable in your own skin. So that being said, now that we are speaking from reality, we can have a discussion. Now let's have a discussion about what this truly is. It's not about slut shaming, and it's not about fat shaming. It's about spoiled people who feel that they can make dumb decisions in their life and still be able to make it out unscathed. No, you can't make the world like that. If you're fat, lose weight. You don't like people calling you fat, then lose weight. If you can't lose weight, then oh well. There are people who want to be good looking. You can't be. There are people who want to be 7 foot tall. You can't be. That's the hand you were dealt. And I know plenty of fat people, plenty of overweight people who can still remain attractive, who can still find ways to keep themselves clean and decent looking. So being fat is not the end all be all. Will you be on the cover of Us magazine? No. But that's life. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind how men who are fat and unattractive they take what they got. They take their fate. Women who are fat and unattractive want to try to change the world into liking fat, unattractive women. No, it ain't gonna happen. Men don't like fat, unattractive women, just like women don't like fat, unattractive men. You could go find the same exact fat woman who is arguing about fat shaming and tell her to go on a date with a fat guy, and she'll say no because it's common sense. Fatness is unattractive. And I ain't even gonna say that because some fat women are just beautiful. It doesn't matter that they're fat. You don't even notice that they're fat because their face is attractive. They're clean. They keep themselves uptight. Will you go be able to get the top 10 guy? Probably not. But you should be able to get somebody. And that's the point. No, people don't want to. This is my problem with women in America, more specifically. They don't focus. They focus so much on making their life as easy as they can make it that they start to make other people's lives hard, and they don't give a damn. It's like if you choose, if I make a decision that affects another person, then it affects me because I don't want to be responsible for someone else being in trouble for something that I made that I should be able to deal with, right? And this is my point. This whole slut shaming thing, right? Women don't know how counterproductive being a slut is to their overall well-being. It is disastrous. Okay, and I'm going to explain it to you. And I'm a Christian, so you can say what you want to say. But regardless of what, this is my point. When you go around banging everything in sight, you lose value to a man.
You have a message from Bianca Bentley. You have a message from Bianca Bentley.
Anyways, the point is, you lose credibility in the eyes of men, of the casual male, because a guy like this is what I said in my last video, and I'll rehash it for this one. Every girl that walks around, you walk around with a name tag on you, right? And that name tag is flipped around. So every guy who walks up to you, that's pretty much what he's asking. What's your price? Not to sleep with you. Some may, some maybe not. But the point is, they're asking, what's the price for your attention? Severity, severity not taken into account. Attention, right? How do I get your attention? Because attention is a pathway to getting where I want, whether it be to have sex or if I want to casually date you, right? So if you start out there, you already starting at a deficit when the person who comes up to you and asks you for your price, and you basically say, I don't have a price. You're cute. I'll give you my attention. There you've lost the guy, because nobody wants to marry something that they bought at a low price, because they say, if I bought her at a low price, he can buy her at a low price, because she doesn't even have enough morals and enough respect for herself to ask for, because I'm willing to give her whatever I got to give her to get what I want, but she doesn't even have the respect for herself. So regardless of what she tells me, I know if I've done this with this girl and we've been talking for all of 10 minutes, what do you think? Now she's 27. Let's say let's lowball and say she's 22. Ideally, or I mean, me, unlike me, majority of them are Christian, so she's probably been having sex since she was around 14 or 15 years old, if she's a slut, right? Some later, some give or take 2 or 3 years, right? Let's say she started hitting the clubs by around the time she was 19, right? Or sneaking in clubs or going to house parties, right? And then she's gotten to the point that now she's 22 and she's sleeping with a guy she just met that night. That night. What do you think is that guy's gonna think about her long term? He's gonna do the math in his head and say, I slept with this girl that easy. She goes out all the time. I've come in this club 3 different times. I see her leave with 3 different guys, and she thinks I'm gonna marry her. She thinks that I'm gonna treat her with any type of respect. I'm gonna call you what you are. There was only one word for you. You are a slut. And if you choose, and this Amber Rose, she is a slut. She can say what she wants to say. She is a slut. Kim Kardashian, I don't know if she's a slut. Maybe she's a high price slut, but a slut all the same. You don't get a buyback card when you make dumb decisions. It's like these stupid people who say women who go to places, oh, that's victim blaming. You know what victim blaming is? Victim blaming is when a person does absolutely nothing wrong. Someone else does almost everything wrong, and you blame the person who did absolutely nothing wrong. That is a victim. That is victim blaming. Victim blaming is not a person who is culpable for the consequences that inevitably ended up happening to that person. That person is not a victim. That person is a person who made a dumb decision that led to consequences. If you go to a party where you know there's going to be a whole bunch of hornball guys who are possibly as drunk, right? Or probably pissy drunk. If you go to that party and you get pissy drunk to the point that you can't even walk out the freaking door, don't come to me the next day trying to sell me a sob story about something that happened to you that night, because you signed that deed. You signed it when you walked into that place and got pissy drunk to the point where you were unable to protect yourself. And when you go, if I walk, and this is my point. If I jump in a car while I'm pissy drunk to the point where, why? Well, what we want to do is put a paper even. Coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, and I'm here. Anyways, my point is, if you choose to make a decision that directly influences your ability to take care of yourself, then at that point you cease being a victim. You are culpable. You are a culpable party, because if I jump in a car after drinking 10 beers and I drive and I kill someone, I don't get to say, oh, please, oh my gosh, I was a victim of the circumstance. No, you weren't a victim of the circumstances. You controlled the circumstances. You got pissy drunk, and you obviously didn't get pissy drunk in a good place if you ended up getting raped afterwards. So you obviously didn't know the people as well as you thought you did, and you obviously weren't in a safe environment to partake in that type of activity that would lead to that. So I don't care if it's not politically correct to say you are not a victim. You are an idiot, and whether you get raped or not, if you get raped, it's sad, and it should, and the person who did it to you is a scumbag. But you are culpable. I'm not gonna tell a girl who got pissy drunk and went to a party with a whole bunch of scumbag guys and ends up getting raped and think she can turn around later on and say, oh my gosh, I was stuck in a situation where I was put, please feel sorry. No. Because I'm pretty sure you've heard for years how easy it is to get raped. I'm pretty sure you've heard for years about all the scumbag guys it is in the world and all these hornball guys, and you go get pissy drunk around them to the point that you pass out and can't even protect yourself, and I'm supposed to feel bad for you? I don't. Because you put yourself in that position. If I go to a freaking, every woman that walks around knows she has a valuable commodity. She herself is a valuable commodity. Now, me as a male, I am not a valuable commodity, unless, like, I guess if you like pass out in a gay club or something. But I doubt most men would do that. But who, I don't know. But regardless, most men are not, doing that. So, but most women are a valuable commodity, and they walk around and just them being alive is a commodity, right? So you cannot you may want to do what you see your guy friends do. You may want to see to do what you see these other girls do who are also idiots, but you can't do it, because it's the same thing as if I was a guy who's rich and I was around a whole bunch of poor people, right? That's the same thing. If you're a woman around a whole bunch of men, it's the same thing as being a rich person around a whole bunch of thirsty poor people, right? I cannot walk around, especially when you're dressed like a slut. That to me is just beyond me. How you can say that's not this is my point. If you're dressed like with a slut, where you're advertising every single thing that you have, your butt, your breasts, and you're selling sex, and you're selling all these wolf tickets about sex and getting all these hornball scumbag guys, because they're not Boy Scouts, because if they were Boy Scouts, you wouldn't have got raped. So you go around these guys with these halter tops and these slutty things on. It's the same thing as if I was a rich guy around a bunch of thirsty poor people, and I walked around ripping $100 bills up in their faces and burning $100 bills. And then I got pissy drunk and felt, and then totally disregarded the situation, continued to get drunk, and then passed out. And then I woke up the next morning after I found they robbed me for everything that I got. I look up and I say, I say, how you gonna blame me for that? No, you deserve all the blame. He's a scumbag. They're scumbags, but you're not as much to blame as they are, but you are to blame. You made a dumb decision. You made a stupid decision. People say, what if that was your daughter or your wife or your sister? I would tell them that. You made the dumb decision. You are the idiot. That they are scumbags and they are people of low moral character, but you're the idiot because you put yourself in that position. And I get so sick and tired of women in our society trying to find ways to eke out a blame for stuff that they do. They want to be able to sleep with guys and then turn around and not be called a slut. They want to eat what they want, never work out, don't take care of their skin, don't care of their bodies and stuff like that, and still want to be called beautiful. No, you don't get that luxury. Those are things you have to work for. You don't get those things just for being born. Nobody has to find you beautiful. I'm sorry, that's just not the way the world works. There are a lot of people in this world who don't find a lot of people beautiful. A lot of people in the world don't find a lot of people handsome. That's life. If you think that a man want to open like this Sports Illustrated that came out a couple months ago with this super fat ass girl on it. It's like, who in the world wants to see that? And there's nobody. Maybe there's some other fat guys who may want to see it. Fine, but the majority, that's a charity case. You want people to be giving you charity? Like, you really want people to be giving you charity? Like, you think that's gonna make any guy who used to like this girl be like, oh gosh, must like fat girls now? No. They're gonna look at it and say, why do they have this fat girl on the front of USA Today? Why do they have this fat girl on the front of Sports Illustrated? She is not sexy in the least bit. But like I said, that is the conditioning of the Americanized women. They think that for some strange reason that everything has to be easy for them. Whoa, I should be able to go get pissy drunk in a room full of guys. I should be able to dress like a slut and walk down a dark alley. I should be able to do it. No, you shouldn't. There are certain things in life I got to do to protect myself. When I'm a man, I walk out, I don't care where I'm at. I should be able to walk down every street of America and feel safe. I don't. So guess what? When I walk, I'm not going to take back alley homes. I'm not going to be flashing money and then walk down a dark alley, because guess what? I'm likely to get robbed. The same thing goes for you. You don't dress like a slut. You don't wear stuff that got your ass cheeks hanging out the bottom of your shorts and then walk around and try to and look like Boo Boo the Fool when people ask you what happened. You let everything in that equation could have been solved, could have been avoided, but you chose to disregard the rule because, like I said, the entitlement of these women are directly leading to a lot of these women being put in bad positions, right? You should never hit a woman. Who? I will never hit a woman because I'm not with a woman that hits me. You, on the other hand, may not be with a woman who will never hit you. So therefore, if you got a woman that's beating the crap out of you every day, I'm sorry, it's time to start either leave or it's time to start fighting back, because punches hurt no matter where they come from. Okay, what way you look at it. Like I said, if you're a person who's stupid enough to provoke, or you have a woman that you're doing a whole bunch of dirt to, and she gets mad, she puts her hand on you, and she, and hits you. If you in the wrong, I mean, I guess that's different, but each case is different. If you're doing a lot of stuff, women are more emotional, they're more angry, they get more angrier, so they're probably more inclined to jump in your face, yell, scream, do a whole bunch of stuff, but Am I saying that you should just go around just blasting women and stuff like that? But no. But I know there are a lot of really, like I said, I'm luckily not being in a position where I'm ever put in that position where where I have to fight. But there are a lot of men who are not as lucky, and they end up in a situation where they have girls who will pick up, you know, freaking lamps and vases and try to like at the point where someone starts picking up knives and vases, trying to and literally stabbing you and cutting you. At some point, that programming goes out the window, because at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for taking care of yourself, because not every dude on the planet is going to look at you and say, oh, well, I shouldn't do this, so I won't do this. Because sometimes just because someone shouldn't do something doesn't mean they always won't do it. And I see this a lot, where these women are saying, well, you shouldn't do this. A man should never hit a woman. A woman should be able to do this. A woman should be able to dress like a slut and then walk down a dark alley. A woman should be able to meet a guy the same day she meets him and go home and have sex with him. No, genders are different. There's certain things that you can get away with and certain things that are just unsafe for you. And women, long term, for your mental stability, sleeping with a guy when you first meet him is very detrimental to your mental stability. Because if you were walking around and you're sleeping with a whole bunch of guys today, it's nowhere in the world you're going to walk around with the same self-worth that the girl who is not doing that has. It's impossible. Because you realize in the eyes of the casual person, she is better than you are. No matter what way you try, no matter how many times they try to put up the slut shaming, if you are a person who slept with somebody for money, you are a prostitute. And if you are someone who has low moral character, low sexual moral character, and you'll sleep with anybody, you're a slut. There's no such thing. It's certain things that should be shamed, and being a slut is one of them. And first of all, I don't even really understand what shaming is. Either if someone calling you a slut is not shaming you. That's just giving a label to an action. If I go out and I punch someone in the face, you know what I'm saying? I'm a puncher. I punch that person. It's not punch slamming to label what I did. And if you go out and you sleeping with somebody, you asking for the label that you give it.
If you're going to be coming in there late, you sleep.
Okay. If a person chooses to be in a position, they're constantly putting themselves in terrible decisions. In terrible predicaments. Men don't get that. We don't get that buyout. When we make a dumb decision, that dumb decision is ours. The consequence of that dumb decision is ours. It just is, right? When a guy goes with a girl for 4 years and then find out he's a dad, and then 4 years later it turns out the kid's not here. You think guys are going around saying, "Oh, we should change this and this should happen and that should happen"? No, guys realize that you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes you're gonna get snake eye. That's just the way the ball bounce. But like I said, it's very annoying to me when you start to see that so often, where people are constantly trying to get their stupid, dumb, stupid, fetish decisions. Like, you can't get them okay. Nobody's going to okay someone being a slut. Nobody wants their child to say, nobody's going to grow up teaching their child it's okay for you to sleep with 12 different guys and neither one of them care about you. That is totally fine. No, nobody's going to say that. They're going to say, protect yourself. Don't sleep around, because the more you sleep, the less value that guy going to have for you. And if that is the case, and if that is really the case, who in their right mind would be okay with somebody telling you or telling telling a person that they care about it's okay for you to go out and devalue yourself by sleeping with somebody? And so, this is the thing that annoys me the most about women, right? When you hear them say, "Well, why can a guy go out and sleep with a whole bunch of women? He's not considered a slut. It's a plus for him." First of all, you need to understand the majority of people calling you a slut are not men. The majority of people calling you a slut are women. The standards for women and men are different. Men may call you a slut, but they don't see you as any. Majority of them don't see you as any less than they are. The woman, on the other hand, she does. She's the one who low grades you, and she's the one who thinks that you're less than she is because you're a slut. Learn the difference. Men, we don't look at other men as sluts, because a man is impossible for a man to be a slut. You know why? Because a man is the conqueror. He is not the conquered. How in the world can I shame a guy for conquest? You can't shame a guy. It takes amazing skill. You have to have so much going for you to be a male slut. You don't have to. You can't be. You either have to have massive game or be really good looking. There's no. You have to have positive attributes to be considered a slut as a man. As a woman, you don't. You just have to be born. A woman, a slut, a fat, nasty, ugly girl can sleep with 12,000 guys if she wants to, because there's always going to be some guy who's willing to sleep with her. That just you do not. Why in the world would I give you accolades for that? It's like sometimes, you know what I'm saying, women treat other women like they're a bunch of kids in retarded class. It's like, no, this is not. This is the WNBA and the NBA. When you the NBA it takes skill to get there. It takes a lot of things going right for you to get to the point where you're seen as an NBA player. To get in the WNBA, it's the same, but the skills are different. You are not no matter what the WNBA does, they will never be on par with the NBA. And it's the same thing with men and women. A man can sleep with however many women he wants to, and he will not be emotionally attached, and he will not feel derogatory about himself. He will not feel bad about himself in the least bit. The woman, on the other hand, she's emotional. They're not made that way. They're not made to be able to be banging 19 different dudes. Emotionally, they cannot deal with it. Because guess what? The man skeets, gets up, walks out. Washes himself off in 10 seconds. There's no reflection, period. He gets up and leaves and go back and with a whole bunch of other guys and brags about what he just did. The woman, on the other hand, has to sit there and let somebody else's, if the guy even used didn't use the condom, which a lot of people do, which is freaking crazy to me. But she has to sit on a freaking toilet for 30 minutes reflecting, if she's not disgusting, reflecting on the fact that, what did I just do? You know what I'm saying? This guy this was not, I did not conquer him. He conquered me. He got me. He got what he wanted. And they can tell themselves, I got what I wanted too. Yeah, probably. But sooner or later, after you continue to keep doing it, you start realizing this is like taking care of my baby. This is not hard to do for me to sleep with 12,000 guys. And to the people who don't get it or won't get it, if you choose to sleep with somebody that doesn't have your best interest at heart, doesn't have a care for you, doesn't have any long-term plans with you, or doesn't care or respect you enough to even stay after he finished or call you after he finished, then guess what? You are going to take that person. A guy who sleeps with a girl who he just wants to bang that night is not sitting around waiting on her to call him the next day. A lot of girls are. That's how you know it's a different ball game. They're not playing in the same league. The guy, we can emotionally detach from anything. Guy, that's just something we are born with. We can just emotionally detach. Unless someone tells you, hey, you should care about this, a man can detach from reality. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't care about it. He just moves on to the next. And he can have it in the back of his mind that what he's doing is wrong. But men have the innate ability to just crunch things into a corner and forget about it. Women, on the other hand, don't. They talk to the other girl and they don't tell. This is another this is another thing that shows who the real culprit of the slut shaming is. It's the woman, other women, not men, because the woman won't even tell a guy will go run home and tell all his friends, yeah, I slept with this girl, I slept with this girl, I slept with... The woman is walking around trying to keep hers a secret. Why is that? Because she knows she's going to be judged by her friends. The man knows he's not going to be judged by his. A man could, like I said, I'm a Christian, and I've only, you know, I don't put my business out there, but I haven't, you know, I've only been with my wife, and there are a lot of friends that I have that are not. They sleep around, but I don't, you know, even though I would never do that, I think it's disgusting and nasty, you know, with all the diseases and just, I don't know, it's just the mindset of me, I guess. But I've just never been one of those people that I think I could be one of those people that just sleeps around with a lot of different people. I've had the opportunity to. I've been given that. I've been you know, offered a few times. I mean, a lot of times. But I just, that's not my personality. I've never been that type of person, because not because I believe that, oh yeah, you know, that you know, I can detach myself and this, that, and the third. No, it's more so because I just think it's nasty. But the guys who do it, I don't judge them because I think it's nasty. That's my preference. The guy on the other hand can do what he wants. Same thing with a girl. You can do what you want to do, but expect the label to go along with it. A guy who sleeps around with a lot of girls, he has to expect that label of being a dog. And if you, regardless of whether he wants that label or not, that's the label afforded to him because of the actions that he took. Same thing with a woman. The actions you take are directly responsible for you being called a slut. So stop doing the action if you don't want to be called a slut. It's simple. And if you don't want to be called fat, then stop eating, start working out, start trying to make your figure as best as possible, because it may not be able to be as skinny as this or small, but you can make it as good as you can make it. And trust me, there's nobody who is made 5'5", 300 pounds. There's nobody who's made 5'2", 240 or 200 pounds. You are not made that way. That's the way your habits directly lead to it, because your body mass is way over the top and it has nothing to do with the way you were born. It's the fact that you don't care enough about your body and your personality and your respect for yourself to go out and take care of your body to the point where you are not called fat, but you're going to be called fat if you are fat. And you're going to be called a slut if you are a slut. Just like a man's going to be called a dog if he is a dog. He's going to be called a low-life loser if he is a low-life loser. If you're a guy who sits at home and doesn't work and doesn't have a job and lives with his mom and this, that, and the third, you're going to be called a loser. That's because and a woman who's doing the same exact thing will probably not be called a loser. But women don't care about that double standard. They only care about things that directly affect them while hiding behind the mindset of being a feminist who cares about equality. It's never about equality. It's about making my life as easy. They don't even really care about other women. Because if you look at it, feminists are generally like they're not the best looking people. Let's be real. I mean, I haven't seen every feminist in the world. I mean, so I could be wrong, but the truth of the matter is the ones that I see are generally fat, goth-looking girls. And the reason why and that's the point. It's self-serving. They want to change the way the standard of beauty because they themselves want to be seen as beautiful, and they try to use the beautiful women to push this agenda because they think the beautiful women are too dumb to pick up on the fact that they're trying to make you less valuable and make them more valuable. Oh, let's make the mind more important. You know, these women are, a lot of these beautiful women are dumb as doornails. They're dumb, but they don't have to be smart because they're usually going to find a simp who's willing to marry them and take care of them for the rest of their life. So they don't care about feminine they don't care about the feminine things that you care about. All they care about is the fact that, because they've never had to deal with injustice based on the standards of society. You have. So guess what? You trying to get the beautiful girl to side with your agenda or your plight? She's not, because she doesn't care. She's like, I control men. Every man I've ever come across, I've been able to control them. Where are you talking about this patriarchy? There's no patriarchy. I can do what I want. I got hired. I've been here for 3 months. I'm already the general manager. I mean, I'm already the freaking CEO because I slept with that guy. All I had to do was be nice to this guy and kind of flirt with him a little bit, even though I have no intention of ever talking to him, no intention of ever being with him. But I can get my way up through the ranks in 3 seconds because I'm a good-looking woman and I know how to use what I got. That is why the whole feminist thing doesn't work, because men see these women. They see these women are freaking sharks. You know what I'm saying? They are very manipulative and they are very, very shrewd. So these men are sitting around talking about, what are you talking about? What patriarchy? She's been here for like 3 months and she's shot through the ranks. The difference the problem is majority of women who work in the workplace are ugly women. Women who have to push this. I mean, let's be real. When's the last time you saw a good-looking senator? I mean, the closest thing they had was Sarah Palin, and that lady looked like a reject from Dukes of Hazzard. So what are we doing? What is the premise? Is that the women who you are saying are chained are not? They're not chained. The women that work are just like every other man. They go through their work day and they go through this, that, and the third. And yeah, you might hear a guy say something about your period, or might say something about, does your husband do the laundry? Your husband, yeah, that's just stereotypes of the world that we live in. And sometimes you gonna come across them. You know what I'm saying? As long as it ain't offensive, as long as they ain't disrespecting you, then that doesn't make your life any harder. But when you go around. When I say offend, I ain't talking about just oh gosh, he referring me. If somebody says sweetheart to you and you blow up over it, then you're an idiot. They're not an idiot. That's just a respectful thing that certain people just choose to use the word sweetheart or honey and stuff like that. But a lot of feminists don't take kind to being called those words, because to them it's degrading to be referred to by a word to be referred to as using an endearment, a word, using words of endearment. Go figure. But my point of the situation, the point I'm trying to get across is, you cannot think that actions will not breed labels. When you take certain actions, when you act certain ways, you get called certain things, and you may not like it, but at the end of the day, sluts should be slut shamed, and fat people should be fat shamed, because living like a slut is not only bad for you mentally, so from a soul standpoint, spiritually, and it's bad for you health-wise. So no, I'm not going to teach kids, and I'm definitely not going to try to push it into society that you should be okay with your girlfriend, with your daughter, or these kids coming up, be teaching them that it's okay for them to bang 12 guys just so one stupid slut who made a bunch of decisions and dumb decisions in her entire life wants to get a redo. No, you don't get a redo. You shouldn't have did what you did. You wouldn't have been called a slut. So you know what? If you want to be changed, then go change your name, move to a different city where nobody knows your history, and start over. Don't go around thinking that we're going to change you, Amber Rose, thinking we're going to change the freaking society because you chose to be a slut. No, you chose to be a slut. That was your decision. Every time you slept with a guy, you knew you were piling up the numbers, and you knew your actions were becoming more and more suspect. And when you finally got to that territory where you say, oh my gosh, I've crossed over into slut territory, guess what? Ain't no take backs. You made the decision, and you continue, because you have full control. Ain't no woman in America sleeping with a guy she don't want to sleep with. That ain't happening unless she being raped. And guess what? There are laws to prevent people from raping you. And a lot of these women ain't never been raped. They just sleep with a lot of guys. And the fact that you chose to make a whole bunch of decisions that no one made you make, especially the beautiful woman. If somebody who looked like Amber Rose has no excuse. You are a slut beyond anybody else, because you are a beautiful woman. If you are ugly, then people would be like, hell, you gotta take what you can get. But when you are a beautiful woman, that's just not even fair. You know what I'm saying? And who gonna turn you down? It's like, leave something for the and the thing that trip you out is the fat ugly girl. Like, damn, you sleeping with every dude in town, You know what I'm saying? And they just more and more want you. And I'm sitting here, I ain't slept with nobody. I'm respectful. I got a good job. I do this, that, and the third. And these men falling over themselves to take care of this ain't crap slut. And I'm Miss America here, and they just passing me by. Well, sweetheart, you and her, if you're a good girl who work out, you may be a little overweight, but you work out and you keep yourself in health, and you eat right, and you treat your body right, you stay clean, and that's the most important thing. Stay clean. You wash yourself, you perfume, you do everything that you should do. Yeah, sometimes you just gonna get passed by for the beautiful girl who may be slutty. But guess what? When it's time to marry, he's not going after the slutty girl that slept with 32 dudes. He'll take the slightly overweight, good girl with the good morals over the slutty slut who slept with 32 guys in a heartbeat. Because that is not who he wants raising his daughter. I don't care what they say. If you walk around banging this, that, and the third, and you think the dude looking at you saying, wow, this is the mother of my kids who's spinning around on her head while 3 dudes banging her? No. If you had more than 5 dudes nut on your face, or have more than 2 dudes nut on your face, then guess what? You ain't wifey material. And you don't look at don't try to change the world and be like, oh well, that's not really fair. I mean, I made some decisions. I went through college. No, you a slut. You a slut then. You're a slut now. And like I said, you want to redo and get away from the people that saw you do all the stuff that you did, and hopefully you can blend into society and go about your life. But if you want to stay where you at, you have to own up to the consequences of your actions. You don't get a redo. You don't get to do a bunch of messed up stuff and then turn around and try to make the world change because you made a bunch of bad decisions. No, you made a bunch of bad decisions. Change those bad decisions. Hopefully going forward, you need to tell this dude you're about your bad decisions. That you don't need to be walking with you on past 12 dudes you don't have sex with, and 3 of them you did at the same time. Let this dude know so he can understand what he's stepping into, because that is some messed up junk. When you see the girl who slutted out and got the mindset that this slut shaming, I'm not a slut, a guy can sleep with who he wants to sleep with, and then goes and gets some simp who walks around with him, don't understand this girl was slutted out. She banged 4 dudes in one night, and you walking around with her like she your queen. It's like, dude, no, stop. If that dude knew what the deal was, be Pete Gang, he wouldn't be with you. And that's the point. They want to, like I said, they want to, this perpetual thing that women have with trying to make the world feeling proof for them. No, we share this world. And men, we take it on the chin all the time. When we're ugly, we get called ugly. Ain't nobody nice in the way they say that. If we overweight, they're not nice in the way that they say we're overweight. They say you're fat, lose some weight. That's how men talk. When I started gaining weight a couple years ago, you think anybody was slight in the way that they said it to me? People would just walk up to me like, dude, you starting to get big. You starting to gain some weight. It was no second thought. It was no maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that. Man, we don't get that luxury. If we fat, we fat. And that's just the truth. And you don't get a redo, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're, like I said, there's a whole bunch of overweight fat guys in America. Whole bunch of, you think they're running around saying we need to put, stop putting these guys like whatever the guy who was named Ryan Reynolds, stop putting him and these Captain America guys on the front of GQ magazines, because we're men and we're men too, and we think you should have fat overweight guys on the cover of those because we don't like the beauty standards for men. No, men don't do that. We say, hey, Women like who they like. Why can't y'all just do that? Why can't y'all do that with men? Men like who they like. We can't change that. So stop trying to change the world. Like I said, if a man goes around and he doesn't get a job, can't find a job, doesn't do anything, living with his mom when he's 30 years old, you know what? There's nobody who's going to walk around and say, you know what, that's okay. There won't be one person saying that's okay. There'll be a bunch of people calling him a loser. You know what? He called himself a loser. So guess what? You should call yourself a slut. You should call yourself whatever word that you feel defines the actions that you've taken in your life. And don't get mad at other people because they choose to do the same thing. But if you know what I'm saying, we can talk about it. I'm willing to discuss it with people down below. But that's just my point, man. I'm sick and tired of these mob head feminist Nazis coming up telling people, oh, they're about slut shaming. It's not fair that a man can sleep with 12 different girls. Well, is it fair that a man can that a woman can sit around, not have a job, not do crap around the house, not be considered a loser, but a man can doing the same thing would be called a loser? No, there's different gender roles, gender standards for everybody. Don't try to skate out of yours. There are not men walking around saying that they should have fat men on the front of GQ magazine. They're not running around saying there should be fat guys in front of Men's Health. While women walking around saying there should be fat chicks on Sports Illustrated, and there should be fat chicks on King magazine. No, it's not beauty standards that are causing people not to be attracted to you. It's your weight, and it's the way that you act about the fact that you're fat. If you're fat and you're working toward losing that weight, that's fine. But if you're fat and you're trying to tell the world they need to change instead of you just losing weight, then you need to start looking at yourself in the mirror, because you're the person who is directly responsible for the way you're treated and the way that you act. And if you don't want to change the way that you act, then I got one freaking remedy for you. Get thicker skin. Because that's the only two things you can do. Either you can change your situation, or you endure your situation. So that means get thicker skin, find love for yourself, find beauty in your own self, and find a guy who will find beauty in you. Those are the only things that matter. You don't need one person to fall in love with you. You don't need the world to think you're beautiful. So go around, take care of you. Walk around, make sure you look beautiful to you. And when you find a guy who matches this, who has the same beauty standards for you that you have for yourself, then you find a match made in heaven, because that guy gonna treat you like gold. Because to you are the standard. But if you're going around slutting it up and smashing all these guys and then turning around and saying I should be able to do what I want to do, then you need to find a guy who's okay with that lifestyle. Don't go to some simp who doesn't know about your past and then marry the guy, so this guy that run around and find 90 million skeletons in your closet because you just freaking been busting it wide open for 30 years, and then finally you want to get into a relationship with a guy and don't let him know that you've been bouncing around like a freaking pinball. And like I said, find someone who accepts you for you, and you need to accept you for you. If you're a slut, accept that you're a slut. Find someone who loves sluts. If you want somebody if you are fat, find someone who thinks you're beautiful. There's always somebody who will find you beautiful. As long as you keep yourself clean, you try to keep yourself in the best shape as possible. I'm not saying keep yourself in perfect shape. I'm saying work out. Do as good as you can do with the situation that you're in. And you will find everybody finds somebody. You know what I'm saying? And there's something, all women have something about them that make them attractive, but that they can find someone who will find them attractive. But you gotta do the hard work. If it means that much to you, the world doesn't need to change. You need to. Because you can't force people to find what they find unattractive. I say that to women all the time. When these black women start saying, why don't they put more black women in this? Why don't they? Because what will it really matter? they put more black women in this or that and the third. Do you think that these people don't know that they're just putting them in there because you said to put them in there? You think that they're gonna find them more attractive by doing that? No. There are plenty of people in this world who find black women attractive. Just stop worrying about who doesn't. You got more than enough men in this world that find black women attractive. You got more than enough men in this world who find fat women attractive, who find skinny women attractive, who find 7-foot tall women attractive. There are men who have fetishes about everything. The only thing you need to do is worry about keeping yourself in the best mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health that you can. That's the best you can do. All that other stuff, leave it to the birds. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of stuff that gets you in trouble. When you start you stepping out of your league. Do what you find comfortable and be comfortable with you. Everything else, leave that for the birds. And nobody, and this is just real. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that being fat is beautiful. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that sleeping with 12,000 dudes is acceptable. Nobody's gonna tell you. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. You actually, you can get a lot of people who will tell you that, but they lying. You know, nobody. You think that they're not thinking you're an idiot when they find out you. You think, I don't care who it is. Anybody who sits up and tells you that they think, what happened? I got pissy drunk and passed out around 12 dudes and they ran the train on me while I was drunk. You think them dudes, even if they try to say the politically correct thing, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, this got to be the dumbest girl in the world. Why did you put yourself in that position? First of all, and no matter what way you know they thinking it. And this is my point. In life, like I said at the beginning of it, we make decisions. You can't run from your decisions. The consequences come, whether they're good or bad, they come from the decision that you make. And if you don't learn to make good decisions, you better learn to make do with the bad consequences that come your way for the bad decisions that you make. Don't try to change the world after you made the bad decisions and bad mistakes, then try to get them to say that it's okay to do things that are not okay to do. Just simple. So anyways, can't wait to hear the crying and annoyed comments. So let them fire.